one thing you put to New Zealand was to play a Bledisloe Cup on Anzac Day. Mark Robinson said, I think late last year, that they'd done their due diligence and they didn't see the upside. David Kirk said recently that he'd have another look at it. He's the new chairman. Where is that standing? Are you still hopeful that that's a concept you can get up?
Well, we're very positive around the opportunity. We talk about connection with fans. We talk about generating as much interest in rugby as we possibly can in our market. And for us, it's quite logical to go down the path of an Anzac Bledisloe. And again, the spirit of partnership. It's actually working really closely with New Zealand and generating as much interest across in New Zealand and in Australia, and also sharing in the revenue upside from the experience of that Anzac Bledisloe. And so, as you said, New Zealand Rugby Board, 8 out of 9 new directors, as well as new management as well in 2026. So we're certainly having those conversations, as I said, really positive conversations in New Zealand over the weekend, and we'll continue that dialogue.
Do you feel like you might get a fresh set of eyes with David Kirk as the new chairman? He lives in Sydney. He's half Australian. He's an Australian citizen now. Do you think you might get at least a fresh set of eyes to the concept?
Yeah, lives in Sydney. I'm not sure he'd call himself half Australian, but
he's an Australian citizen.
I think the benefit we have of having the chair of New Zealand Rugby living in Australia is that he understands the Australian market, the competitiveness of the Australian market, the competitiveness across other codes, and so being in our market, understanding the importance of generating big events for rugby in this market, he understands that, and so I think we've had, as I said, very early doors with him in the chair role, but we've had really constructive conversations around putting as meaningful content into the Australian market as we possibly can.